Throughout my life, I eagerly awaited the moment to hear a word. Mama heard it, a significant day. Before I tell you what happened to me, welcome to the story from Shadows. If you crave true horror stories, subscribe now and join our community of the brave. Now, let's get into our first story. My relationship with my husband was tense because we remained married for 5 years, but God still hasn't given us children and we're going through financial problems. One day, my husband surprises me that he needs a modest hut in the village of Hadiye. Something like this is as much money as we can spend on a romantic vacation and get our relationship back to the way it was before. When we first arrived, I was shocked by the smell of the place. It was weird and uncomfortable. It was like the smell of roses that were rotten. The owner of the place was not friendly. She handed me the keys without smiling. She told me in a sharp tone, "I hope you don't get close to anything. It's not your business." He pressed Jamid's hands with her cold hands, as if she were warning me of something. In need, in this house, you may feel that you are not alone. Then she looked at the bedroom. When she looked at the room, she found an old children's bed that was dark and old wood, as if it had years left. His appearance was not consistent with the place. I felt that I was not comfortable with his presence, and I still would have explained it more, but my husband arrived. "Why does this place have such peculiar decor?" My husband said this while he was unloading the bag. I don't know why my heart stopped at that time. I felt that Ruki was dry, but he remained silent so as not to be surprised by the surprise he gave me. From the first night it was fired with a heavy enforcement sound, was the sound of Josie's breathing. It's not enough. There was the sound of someone else's breathing. Her voice was different and Jay was far away, a little from the corner of the room. And then my place froze. He had an unclear voice. Sound is like something moving. Moonlight shadowed the world while reflecting on the old crib, which moved steadily. Empty of presence, it swayed as though driven by unseen laborers. I kept trying to find explanations for what was happening. I told myself that I was definitely moving because of the wind, or maybe I couldn't see well from the darkness, but at that time his movement increased more and more, becoming a regular and deliberate movement, not a random shape. So I opened my mouth because I couldn't. I was a worker and looked at him and I was terrified. Abruptly halting, it acknowledged my gaze. It stopped upon realizing I noticed. His introduction, "Then how did you sleep?" "It is the morning when we have breakfast. My husband told me that I was a stupid worker with incomprehensible words all night while I was sleeping." "What were you saying?" The house seemed empty, yet carried an unusual aura of occupancy. At noon, my husband went out to buy some orders and I found myself alone at home. I was very curious to go and look at the bed as if it attracted me. The first time I touched it, I found the wood with new scratches on it. Was someone trying to get out of it? I noticed the presence of a strange substance that was warm, but I don't know exactly what this is. That night, my husband and I sat in a romantic seat and he told me that he knew that I was sad because of his failed pregnancy attempt last year and the fetus that died in my stomach, so that we must be treated and try again. He is in the middle of a place talking. We heard him pouring like a spring baby coming from the bedroom. "You listened to us, did you?" Surprised, I realized this wasn't fantasy. We woke in suspense to find answers. We are walking towards the house. I missed the baby. He was more and more like a child crying strong C's. When we entered and arrived in front of the room, does the door open alone? Observed the bed shuddering. Attempting to decipher, it dragged into a scene of strange sheets. Then she shut up. For 6 seconds, Sam said nothing. Before the echo begins, chuckles. Othman's eerie voice escalated, a mix of screams tangled with indistinct speech. A chilling curse descended upon me. Why am I alone? Its words begged invitation. Then the whole house lights went out. While we were in the darkness, I felt a small, rough and very cold hand. I reached out and grabbed my leg, and at that time I screamed out above me. My husband spoke frankly, and we ran as hard as we could in the darkness to get out of the house. When we arrived at the door and tried to open it, we found it locked. He is not satisfied with the final opening. Rushing to the rear exit. Hearing noises, my husband sought another way out. Following closely, I felt paralyzing terror. We heard the sound of something crawling on the ground, and the sound saw a small scratch on the ground. Then I heard a terrifying whisper. Mama. Don't leave me alone. Broken emotions reverberated. Scared. Hey, Mama. I tried to calm myself down and ignore what I heard until we got out. And Josie was trying to open the door. I tried to be quick. Suddenly I looked behind Raya. Did you find this thing closer to me, Edmond? Quickly, please come after me. Then he will come close to me and whisper in my heart. Mama, I'm shivering. Ice grips me. Before I screamed, I finally found my husband opening the door and we went out. Running quickly, running and running far in the darkness and cold. The important thing is to stay away from this responsible house. It is the first time after us that the house is lighted in. Josie opened the car door safely. His hand was twitching while he was turning the key. The motor was broken and the car could not be seen moving. I poured it on the house. I found him standing in the net. He looks at me. He, despite the distance glimpsed, the terrifying faintness rests. Mama reached and saved us. Her time, finally the car moved and we walked fast that way. A shared astonishment prevailed. Journeying onward, silence blanketed us entirely. After a week, I didn't know. I stopped thinking about what happened. I preferred to search the internet for any information related to this house, until I found news 30 years ago that they found the body of a baby girl in this house. It was rotten and had the days of a child who died alone from cold and hunger. And the details of the news. She was the ugliest. Father and mother fought the mother. I walked and left the child at home with his father. But the father also left on the basis that she would come back. Love in them. Sabu returned alone, crying to the point of barking. He died afraid, sore and cold. That day I preferred to cry all day. How? Are there people whose hearts are this hard? This is what I hope from God, even if only one child, and they left their child to die alone. I told my husband, whom I knew, and he told me that we should move on and forget what happened. But how can I advise you like that?